Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the hottest topics in Formula One right now, Yuki Tsunoda's potential future with Red Bull. This is the discussion that's keeping fans on the edge of their seats, with some big names being thrown into the mix for the highly coveted spot next to Max Verstappen. You might be wondering why Tsunoda hasn't been in the spotlight. What's holding him back? And could he really land that seat? Stick around till the end because this story has some unexpected twists, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Now, we all know Daniel Ricciardo and Liam Lawson have been tossed into this conversation, but did you know that Tsunoda is responsible for an impressive 22 out of AlphaTauri's 34 points this season? However, it's not just performance that's in question here. Tsunoda's fiery personality and those infamous emotional outbursts might be the real hurdle standing between him and a Red Bull promotion. Yet Red Bull's Helmut Marko seems to think otherwise, hinting at a potential shift in favor of the young Japanese driver. Now let's dive deeper. Is this the right move for Red Bull, especially with Sergio Perez hinting that he doesn't plan on racing for too much longer? Tsunoda, currently in his 4th season with the team formerly known as AlphaTauri, has consistently proven himself as one of the most intriguing drivers on the grid. Stepping up to race alongside Verstappen is the ultimate goal for anyone who dons the Racing Bulls colors, but so far, it's been a tough climb. Ricciardo, despite his star power, couldn't seal the deal. And all eyes have shifted to Lawson, who now has 6 races to prove his worth. In 2023, during Lawson's 5-race stint, there were 3 races where both AlphaTauri drivers finished. Interestingly, in all those races, Lawson managed to finish ahead of Tsunoda. While that's impressive, it doesn't automatically mean Lawson is the next Verstappen or a future world champion. Helmut Marko, the mastermind behind grooming Red Bull's drivers, is keen on keeping his options open. He believes Tsunoda has delivered exactly what's been asked of him, enough to deserve serious consideration for a Red Bull seat. Tsunoda's journey to this point has been anything but typical. Unlike most Red Bull drivers, Yuki didn't come through their academy. Instead, he rose through Honda's driver program, which still connects him to the Japanese automaker. Despite his unorthodox path, he's shown glimpses of incredible talent, though many believe that a faster, more competitive car is what he truly needs to shine. Helmut Marko has often said that in the right environment, Tsunoda's untapped potential could finally come to the forefront. When asked about promoting Tsunoda, Marko mentioned something interesting: we're really focusing on our juniors now, and Yuki is still considered one of them. Just look at Franco Colapinto. He wasn't super successful in junior categories, but he's impressing everyone now. He hinted that Tsunoda is on the same path. But the big question that remains unanswered is how Yuki measures up against Liam Lawson. Lawson, as a true product of the Red Bull driver system, has always been a Marko favorite, and his recent performances have added fuel to the debate over who deserves the seat. There's definitely tension brewing between Tsunoda and Lawson, as Lawson's rise within the Red Bull system has been meteoric. Lawson, unlike Tsunoda, is a pure product of the Red Bull Academy, and Marko has been a vocal supporter of the Kiwi driver for some time now. In fact, there were rumors that Marko was campaigning to secure Lawson a seat as early as 2024. And while Ricciardo's seat was up for grabs, Lawson stepped in, putting up solid performances that have only intensified the rivalry between him and Yuki. But let's not forget Tsunoda's past struggles with his temper. While he has significantly toned down his emotional outbursts, especially after being fined for language issues on the radio, there are still moments where he lets his frustration slip through. Even Yuki himself admits that Ricciardo helped him develop more control, teaching him to remain calm and provide constructive feedback during difficult sessions. After all, in Formula One, success depends heavily on clear communication between drivers and engineers. Simply ranting about the car won't get you any closer to a championship-winning machine. This brings us to the critical showdown between Tsunoda and Lawson. Red Bull's management, along with the team at AlphaTauri, is keen to see how Yuki handles this pressure. The first round of their 5-race battle didn't go in Tsunoda's favor. But let's not forget how he performed under pressure in the past. In the early part of 2023, many expected Nick de Vries to outshine Tsunoda, but Yuki stood firm and showed the world that he wasn't just a placeholder. He outlasted de Vries and proved he deserved his spot on the grid. Looking forward, Tsunoda's close ties with Honda have sparked rumors that he could end up at Aston Martin when the two entities collaborate more closely from 2026. But does that mean Red Bull will overlook him? Not necessarily. This could be Tsunoda's last big chance to prove that he deserves a seat in the main Red Bull team. Now, more than ever, he needs to show a calm, consistent performance and prove that the potential he's displayed can be fully realized in the highly competitive environment of a top team. While Tsunoda fights to secure his place, Red Bull's leadership is keeping their options open. Christian Horner himself hinted that the team might look beyond their driver pool for 2026, suggesting that even drivers like George Russell could be considered. This mirrors the approach they took with Perez, bringing in an outsider to complement Verstappen. It's a reminder that, despite their strong development program, Red Bull is willing to take risks if it means securing the right talent. For Yuki, this adds another layer of complexity. He's not just battling Lawson, but also the potential of external candidates who could swoop in and claim the seat. However, it's clear that Red Bull isn't solely concerned about whether Tsunoda can outperform Verstappen. Few can. The bigger issue lies in his consistency and temperament. His fiery character, while exciting for fans, needs to be reined in if he's to be seen as a serious contender for the Red Bull team. That said, if Lawson can manage a stellar end to the season, he might just edge Tsunoda out of the running altogether. Helmut Marko has already indicated that the 2025 driver lineup will be a clean slate, meaning big changes could be coming sooner than we think. With all this uncertainty, what's clear is that the next few races will be absolutely crucial for both Tsunoda and Lawson. Lawson's lack of a contract for 2025 leaves his future hanging in the balance, but it also gives him an edge he has nothing to lose and everything to gain. Meanwhile, Tsunoda's journey has been filled with highs and lows, and it's now more important than ever for him to showcase his maturity and control on the track. His performances in the remaining races could define whether he continues with AlphaTauri, moves up to Red Bull, or even secures a spot elsewhere. Interestingly, 2016 F1 World Champion Nico Rosberg has weighed in on the situation, praising Yuki's talent but pointing out his inconsistency and fiery demeanor. Rosberg noted that, despite Tsunoda's strong showings like his impressive qualifying in Singapore, his attitude and mood swings have kept Red Bull hesitant. Rosberg's insights reflect a common sentiment within the F1 community: Tsunoda has the speed. But can he refine his approach enough to be a serious contender for one of the most coveted seats in Formula One? As we look ahead, it's clear that Red Bull is preparing for a significant shakeup in its driver lineup, with both Tsunoda and Lawson vying for a seat, and Perez's future with the team uncertain. The 2025 season could mark the dawn of a new era for Red Bull. Nico Rosberg also highlighted that Lawson's performance over these next few races will be pivotal. If Lawson shines, he could leapfrog Tsunoda and claim that second Red Bull seat. It's not just about beating Yuki. It's about proving he's the right man to partner Verstappen. Rosberg also emphasized how Red Bull's decision will be influenced by Perez's current form. Despite being a seasoned driver, Perez has had moments where he was close to challenging Verstappen, but those instances have been too few and far between. Red Bull may feel the need for a fresh face, someone hungry to push the team forward in the coming years. This opens the door wider for Lawson and puts even more pressure on Tsunoda to deliver flawless performances if he wants to stay in the mix. As the season draws to a close, one thing is for certain: the battle between Tsunoda and Lawson is far from over. Both drivers are putting everything on the line to prove they deserve that coveted Red Bull seat next to Verstappen. However, it's not just about speed. Red Bull will be looking for a driver who can bring consistency, maturity, and the ability to handle pressure, qualities that are essential when competing at the highest level of motorsport. While Tsunoda has shown growth, particularly in controlling his emotions and delivering under pressure, Lawson's rise has been hard to ignore. Helmut Marko and Christian Horner will have difficult decisions to make as they weigh the pros and cons of each driver. The driver market is poised for a shake-up, and with Lawson's strong performances and Tsunoda's established presence, the next few months could be decisive for both their careers. Who will ultimately claim the seat? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure: both drivers are giving it their all. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and while you're at it, check out the video that's popping up on your screen right now for more F1 insights and updates.